everybody, this is Erin Lincoln, and I'm here to show you a different way to sew up the pencil pouch stitching dies using elastic hair bands that little girls put ponytails, I guess big girls too. They wrap around and they anchor in the back, and then you wrap them around the front and hook them on a button. So this eliminates the need to use magnets and just gives you another option. And they hold a couple pencils for a little girl. Those are my little girl's initials so well. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already cut the main die. There we go. And I'm using it to help place the anchor dies for anchor pieces for my elastic band. And they're going to go right there. I'm using the circles to line it up and that opening to show me where the back of this is when rolled up. Remember to remove that die. I say this because I made so many mistakes. I ruined a lot of felt. Remove that die. All right, run it through again. Bring it back, and then you need to cut the holes only die for this anchor. It's 8 holes, 2 rows of 4. Again. Then you just go ahead and run it. Okay, and if you notice, this is different than what I showed you in the basic pencil pouch assembly video, which I previously did, where we use magnets and an elastic band to hold it to a planner. Okay, here's the anchor die for your elastic bands. It cuts the holes and the shape. You're going to want 4 of those. You can actually get away with 2, but in this case I'm using 4. I like to make things as secure as possible, and so that's why I always max it out. Okay, 4 of those. And this is the liner die for the pencil pouch if you want to add another color. Trying to keep costs down because I know the pencil pouch is an expensive die, so we made this available separately if you wanted to add it on. It just gives you a different color, a different option. I really like it. I also think it makes that little flap in the front that gets handled a lot extra stability because now it's 2 layers of felt or heat and bond fabric on felt. So I recommend it. I think it's a good idea. But I do realize that these dies get pretty expensive after a while if you add everything on. All right, we're going to go ahead and assemble. Now sewing this up is a little different than with the liner die than just the plain pencil pouch. And if you watch the original video, you'll notice the difference. Here we're going to use some buttons, large buttons, polka dot buttons. You can have a lot of fun here. Instead of magnets on those holes. Now if I was using a smaller button, I would sew it onto the magnet cover and then sew the magnet cover onto the liner die. But because my button is so big, I'm not doing that. Okay, watch and see what I'm doing here on the liner die. And this is to help you hide your stitches, make your ends meet up on your thread. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a running stitch all the way around the circle, which usually is a magnet pocket. Here it's just a circle, all the way around, and then I'm going to back stitch with just half the circle. And this is kind of like my stitching guide to help you have a perfect product when you're done and you're not frustrated trying to figure out how to do this. So just back stitch half that circle and then we're going to go down to the next one. I'm being very, very careful with my stitching because the back shows. I want that to look as nice as the front. And now I'm going to go down that decorative line there, stitching my liner die to the main part of the pencil pouch. And I did the same running stitch all the way around that circle and then halfway. And now I'm going to go down and all the way around. And when we come back, we fill in those half circles. So again, all the way up, all the way back. Okay, this is just to show you I am going around the outer edge now. Just want to show you how I do my stitching. But if we do it in real time, it would take me forever. These take about 2 hours to put together, I think. All right, so I've done a running stitch all the way around. And now I'm going to go back and fill in. And now I'm going to fill in that other half of those circles that is stitched every other. And now it's going to be a full stitch circle. Luckily we have these holes here and we know exactly where to put our needle, both on the back and the front. That's what's so wonderful about the stitching dies. Okay, now I'm going to go down that line on the inside edge of the liner die. There we go. And you see how that circle got filled in. I'm going to go all the way around and tie off. Our threads meet, we can tie and we can tuck that knot between the 2 layers of felt. And that is how you stitch the liner die to the pencil pouch die. Really simple. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is sew our buttons onto our pencil pouch. Now, because the back side is showing, I am taking extra super duper care, making sure the back looks as nice as the front. And I'm going to sew this on through the buttonholes quite a few times because this is what anchors our elastic. We slip our elastic hair bands over these buttons. And as you can see, nice, neat backs there. Okay, so this is going to fold up. And now we're going to do this straight away. This is, because we're not using magnets and making this functional as for holding magnets in those circles, this time this is just decorative. I'm starting there on the edge, on the outer edge of the pencil pouch die, because that is where it gets folded and I can hide my knot. Because down the line, those 2 layers are going to get folded together, stitched together. For the circle, I'm doing the same thing here that I did above with the liner die. I'm going to stitch a running stitch all the way around that circle, and I'm going to fill in just half that circle and go down the line, do the same to the next circle, and then back. And I said this before on the other video, single layer of felt, don't pull too hard on that thread because it will pucker. Okay, here are our hair bands that we're using. I have these little ones and I'm measuring them for you. They are 2 inches when they're flat on the card. They're by Scoonchy. I think that's how you say it. And because they are the smaller ones, I have another option for you too. I'll show you later, but these are the smaller ones. All right, I'm going to take those, we're calling them anchor dies, I guess, elastic band anchor dies. I'm stitching one in the front and one in the back. I just think right here where there is a lot of pull and tug, you want as much strength and durability as possible, and that is why I'm stitching one on the front and one on the back. You could probably get away with just one. Plus, I think it looks really finished. All right, you are gonna go ahead and stitch with the usual running stitch and back one side of this. So there's 4 holes for 3 stitches, and then we'll put in the elastic hairband. These are like the nylon thread wrapped ones. They're super nice because they look finished. They worked really well with this project. The ones I got don't have that little metal clamp, which I almost think would be better because you could put that metal clamp inside this anchor and it will help with the folds because it has to kind of wrap around this. So that's just my theory. I haven't tried it, but these don't have those metal clamps on them. Okay, I'm going to snag one of these and we're going to put it right up there next to the stitching I have already done. I want to just show you it folds up and up around the button like that. Just getting it up out of the way. My thread's not in the right position, so we're going to loop that back around. And now you want to make a stitch to end up on that other side of the anchor die, and you're going to put 3 stitches there, making sure you don't run your needle through the elastic band. There's just enough room for it to be kind of like in a channel. Moving it out of the way as I need to, making sure I snag the right holes in the back because I have the extra die cut right there. And up and around and over. So your stitching looks like a rectangle, just like the shape of this anchor die piece. Nothing goes through the elastic band. You can actually run it through, you know, twist it and turn it when this is all said and done. There we go, and I started my thread between 2 layers of felt, and I'm ending it there too so I can tie a knot and the knot will be hidden. So you can see it right there. And as you can see, that rubber band is now stitched in place. Just trim the ends and hide your knot. Now if you really want to secure this, use a little freight check there. Kind of glue the ends of your thread. Now I'm just showing this how this works. Isn't this neat and easy? Just up around that button. So you have lots of options with buttons and bands. These things come in different colors. I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had here in designing your own. All right, I went ahead and did the other one. You didn't need to see me do it again. And there they are. Okay, now we're going to sew this together. You want to make sure there's 5 holes above the fold, and there are, I think, 9 below. 1, 2, 3, yep, 9. I'm starting down here in the corner of the fold. And now I'm stitching the 2 sides together. Now I am going to pretty much show you this whole thing because there is a bit of a trick, clever trick to making this look nice and finished. It's all about how you stitch it up. I'm going to go all the way up to the top, which I did with the running stitch. I'm going to reverse it. Super sewing, super speed. All right, right here, instead of going down, I'm going to start going across. And I'm going to go halfway. And I'm trying to remember how I edited this. I wonder if I show it all. Trying to think if I have any jokes to tell you while we're waiting. See how it wants to pucker? It's just because it's 1 layer of felt. So use a little less attention when you sew this up. And I'm going to reverse it. And now I'm going to go through 2 layers of felt and finish up stitching those 2 sides together where it makes the fold in the pocket. This just makes the most sense to me, stitching it up this way. By all means, if you have a better idea, go for it. You would, you know, it's your project, it's your way of doing things. I think there's a lot of people that know a lot more about sewing than I do out there. So if you have a different method, please do that. So if you're not. And then I'm going to, off camera, do the other side just like I did this side. And on that across portion where it's only a single layer of felt, I'm going all the way to where I stopped my thread is from this running stitch, and then reversing back, and so it fills in and it looks seamless. Tucking in my knot. See, there you go. So now, I think I show you, yeah, I go back and then right there, and I reverse at that point, and you never know, it's two different threads. All done. See, it's seamless, nice little pocket, fold it over, use your hair ties over your buttons to close it up. Like I said, these can move around in those channels, so if it's too tight on one side, you can loosen it. They're kind of adjustable that way. Yay! So cute. Okay, I want to talk about elastic hairbands real quick, because on this red pencil pouch, I used a larger size than I did on the pink one, and it affects where those anchors go. So I just wanted to give you a visual of that. You can adjust where those anchors go based on the size of your bands. You can see the blue ones are further towards the middle. So I use those. And those are 2 3/4 inches on the card, so folded in half. These little ones are 2 inches folded on the card. And you can just tell how the anchors go in a different spot. Okay, that's 2 fun ways to sew up this new pencil pouch stitching die. Now, the one before, I had an elastic band to go around a planner. What you would do to do that is take these little anchors right here, and instead of sewing them into the main body of the pencil pouch, you sew them into the felt channels for the elastic band that goes around the planner. So you can do it really 3 ways. You can have a different closure instead of magnets around the planner. Okay, thanks for joining me. I'll see you again.